RWBY Volume 7, Episode 5, Sparks. So this episode, we get some very interesting information. Obviously, that is why I have the the Weiss pillow up here, because Weiss and Winter share a very epic moment. I will save that, of course, because that was like the best part of the episode, and it was just an epic reveal. But in this episode, we have the team kind of going through. We have two great moments. So story-wise, we have the Winter Weiss thing. Just episode-wise, it's like, sweet, an action montage. They do a bunch of stuff. It's entertaining to watch. I enjoyed it. They go through training. We get to see Team Funky. That's always cool. The music comes back. We actually see the full team, so that was actually kind of cool too. But it was nice. It was nice. They got new costumes. They go through the training and stuff like that, and it was just entertaining. So I enjoyed that. Everything was good. It was just a good episode. Like, I was like, all right, cool montage in the beginning. Great epic story moment at the end, and then of course in the middle, it wasn't horrible, but in the middle we have kind of the other big moment of the episode, and that was after all the cool montage stuff happens, we of course have our truck. So we have Crow, Ruby, Penny, and Clover. I'm pretty sure his last name is Clover. If that's not right, I'm sorry, but the dude got the Clover. I'm just gonna call him that. I'm pretty sure his last name is Clover. I forgot his first name. So they're playing cards, Crow and Clover, and they're talking about stuff and things like that, and then it's like, all right, here comes Robyn. Like, they blocked their path. They're headed out to, take some more supplies. And she's coming in. She's asking questions. And they have their back and forth. And it's the weirdest situation that she's, like, on the council, but she's this weird vigilante. Like, I find that really funny and entertaining because, like, everyone knows that she does this stuff. At least that's the way it seems. Because, like, she's running for council, but it seems like, everyone. It seems like citizens know that she's kind of, on the not so up and up when it comes to some of the things that she's doing. And so I find it really funny that everyone's like, wants to vote for her and stuff like that, and she's running, and then we see the stuff that she's doing where she's like fighting against the heroes, and it's really just good guys fighting good guys because there's a million secrets going on. But I like the scene. It was like, okay, this is what's going on. She goes in, it's like, Penny, you stay behind in case something's about to happen. She, of course, pops out at the end, and it's like, oh, there were two women behind the rock, so it's, Robyn and her four huntresses. And ultimately, things kind of smooth out. It was like, they were freaking out. I was like, man, that was a close call. It's like, you're telling me. Or whatever the line actually was. I saw it weeks ago. But it was like, okay, interesting little moment. She's getting suspicious. She's trying to figure out, what are you guys doing? And because they don't know 100% if they can trust her, they have so many secrets that they have to keep as far as, this is what's going on with Salem. I mean, Salem in general. The main group of characters keeping the secret about Salem's full power from the second tier of hero. Like, it's just stacked. So with everything that's kind of going on there, it's like, all right, they're kind of just filling each other out pretty much, and she's doing her stuff and kind of messing with them. They're avoiding her, but not really telling her everything. And it's almost like they have to wait for her to win before she can truly be inducted, because they don't know if they can trust her 100% just yet. Not that that would mean anything if she did get voted in, and it wouldn't build trust between them. It wouldn't be like, you're in, so now we tell you all our secrets. They wouldn't do that. So I don't know why it really matters. They just have to keep a secret in general. So I was like, okay, there's that little moment. We see her with her people, and it's like, all right, go ahead, and ultimately everything kind of smooths itself out. So that's obviously building, especially as the election, draws very near. So we had that, like I said, a cool montage. That was our like kind of tense, dramatic moment, and then everything was kind of smoothed over. And then we have our really cool moment with Winter and Weiss, which I would say, even if it's not technically the bulk of the episode, it's the heart of the episode for sure, because we find out that appropriately, Winter is going to be the next Winter Maiden when the current Winter Maiden dies. And it's kind of messed up. It was a really great moment, but it was also like a little depressing. And I'm sure the woman realized it, like, she knows the story of the maiden. She knows how that goes, so she knows why they have to do it. But it was kind of effed up because it was like, man, that's gotta suck. Like, you're not allowed to see anyone. And as old as she is, if she has like grandkids and stuff like that, then, that's me just adding extra stuff. She could totally be alone. But it's just like, man, that's kind of effed up. Like, no one gets to see her because we have to make sure that the only person she thinks of is me. When she dies, I have to be like the last person she sees if I'm there, or the last person she thinks of, and that allows me to get the power of the Winter Maiden, which, considering how old this woman is, I don't know if they'll do it this volume, but Winter is going to be the Winter Maiden. Like, she's going to be that by the end of this series, and I would hope, it would be really cool if that's how they end the season, where it's like, all right, we've kind of been struggling a little bit. Admittedly, they go real back and forth. Like, Ruby's got her power, she kind of knows how to use it, but like not really, which I'm happy with, because that was one of my things with the last volume when she like froze the the giant monster, but she didn't freeze it all the way. I was like, okay, I'm kind of happy with it. I was happy that it wasn't like she figured out how to do it and she used happiness and then it was like, boom, I got it. It was like, no, it kind of worked, but it still failed and they had to do something else. They still needed help from Cordova to actually kill the thing. So I was like, okay, I was glad it wasn't perfection there. So she's still technically figuring out her powers, even though they haven't touched on that at all this volume. And then Winter will have her abilities as the maiden. Raven's not coming back. I don't know. I want to see her. I love her. She's like my favorite character design wise. She's like my favorite character just because she's so cool. Horrible person, but very cool looking. But like they could have a legitimate team. It won't matter against Salem, of course. But as far as Cinder coming into the fold and attacking them, which may or may not be this volume, there's a lot of potential stuff that can happen. I just don't know. But it would be cool to see them kind of induct Winter into the fold of, kind of a bigger cast member. I think that would be really cool, especially, and it would totally make sense that they would kind of keep her close by if she became officially the Winter Maiden. So I would love it if that's kind of how they ended this volume. And so hopefully a bunch of other cool stuff happens too. But then it's like, all right, now what's our next step now that we officially have a new Winter Maiden who is not only targeted but can still fight back? Do we put her out there? Do we not put her out there? That's kind of been the big debate about the whole thing in general, like when they were trying to transfer the power to Pyrrha. So there are just so many elements of it. Like, do we keep these people hidden away? Do we put them into the fight because they're so strong? That's kind of the normal thing in general. When someone who's like the strongest character, it's always the main character generally. It's like when the main character is the strongest but they're the target, even if you're the strongest, at some point you can be overwhelmed. So it's that kind of balance, and I would love to see that going forward. I don't know if we'll get that, with Winter being a side character. If it was Weiss, which would be super random, but if it was Weiss, that would definitely be a main part. But since it's Winter, it's like they probably won't touch on it nearly as much, but I hope they do. I think that would be cool. But of course, they go through this big scene where it's like, this is why I trust Ironwood. And this gets, back into the secrets thing, trust and secrets and lies and just the whole thing. Winter's like, look, I trust Ironwood. I know you guys might not be 100% sure, but I'm sure. Because if he trusts me to take like this ultimate power, then I have to trust the dude. I have to trust that he's at least trying. He may not have like all the perfect answers, but I trust that he's doing the best he can. So it was an interesting little moment, and this is one of the things that I say has to lead to them telling the truth. Probably no time soon, but this and them just kind of going, they've already been kind of debating, like, should we keep this secret or anything like that? I feel like as they get more stuff from, Ironwood or Winter, and I don't know if they could get too much out of Penny, but I feel like as they get more important details from them that they didn't realize, that should help them, kind of figure it out, like, all right, maybe we should end up telling this guy, this is the secret we've been keeping. It already affected them. They were already mad. So, of course, he'd be mad. So I feel like as more things kind of get revealed, like, this is what he's doing, him trusting Winter to have that, as steps kind of build up, it's like they eventually it should out the good should outweigh the bad, or they're like, we can't tell him because we don't know if we can trust him. The whole militaristic thing, obviously, him suffering from it all and just being stuck as the dude in charge in this nearly impossible situation, both in his own city and then just the world as a whole, with Salem just being out there and ultimate power type of deal. So he's got a lot on his mind. They know that it's hard to know if they can really trust him. And I see where they're coming from, but mostly I'm in the camp of, I wish they told him straight from the top and just been like, hey, this is what's happening. It's crazy. Let's figure it out. So, hopefully this will be one of the things that kind of pushes them towards that. But either way, it was a great moment. I was like, okay, that's really cool. And I think we will see that because the woman's so old. If anything, and this would be super sad, if anything, if they do get attacked, like if Salem from the last volume does actually come in with her gorillas with wings and goes full, Wizard of Oz, if they do that, they might straight up tell Winter, like, you need to go kill that woman. Like, you need to kill her now so you can take her power. Like, that would be effed up, but that would be, like, personally speaking, I think that would be really good writing. Like, that would be so dramatic and so sad and messed up, but it would be a really good moment where it's like she has to, like, kill this woman in order to save, the few versus the many type of thing. And she'd have to be the one to actually do it because otherwise someone else who Ironwood doesn't trust gets the power. Although if that did happen and they went into it, I doubt this would ever happen, but it would be super cool. And Winter just could not do it. And then, Weiss is the one that does it. And somehow that still allows for Winter to do it. Like, the woman would still think of Winter, like, I know you're the one that needs the power. So even if Weiss was the one to do it, she would focus enough on Winter, like, she gets the power. Then they'd have, like, a really interesting dynamic there where Winter wasn't strong enough to do it, despite her character being like that stoic, especially being the big sister. That would be a cool moment to have. But it would be even cooler if Weiss was the one to become the next Winter Maiden. That would just be awesome, just for power sake and fighting. That would also kind of throw off the balance of the show, because they go buck wild with power sometimes anyway, and it's like sometimes powers are way up here, sometimes they're down here, and they can't do this, and sometimes they can just do whatever. RWBY has a new, like, kind of has speed, but she's been like separating and stuff like that. Who the F knows? They're making that up as they go, and that's for sure, because that is not what it was when she first started. It was just she moves fast. I never thought it was super speed anyway, because obviously she turned into like a bullet, like covered in like wrapping. It was like, her cape basically turned into like a little bullet, and I was like, I feel like that's a lot more than speed, because she's flying anyway. That's more than like, I have super speed. Like, you're flying like that. Even when they first said it was speed, I was like, that doesn't make sense. Like, I've always thought that. So I was like, she's got some officially new power, so there's probably a second stage to that, whatever that means. We've literally seen her separate and come back together, stuff like that. So she's got that. And Weiss getting the powers of the Winter Maiden would just be like another crazy thing, and they can be like, sometimes she can do all this, and then other times it's just like, I don't know. So we'll see what happens. I highly doubt that would happen, but I would love it. I think that would be great. Since this is the route we're going, this is me just coming up with what's already been said and done. Just like, this would be a cool moment. I don't know where you would go story-wise from there. I'm not trying to do so. I'm just saying, as a random cool moment, that would be nice. They've done it before. They've done random cool moments and taken storylines out of place, like Yang getting her arm cut off. That wasn't actually supposed to happen. When she first fought Adam, it was supposed to be the fight that we got was supposed to be the fight in Volume 3. But instead, they did it where it's like, boom, her arm got chopped off, and it was holy crap moment. And then after that, Adam was just ruined as a character. Unfortunately, I'm still a little upset about that personally. Favorite character, I miss him. Once again, horrible person, but did some sweet stuff. Great fight. Favorite character to watch fight is definitely Adam. Adam and Mercury are like my two favorite people to actually watch fight. Like, even more than Yang, even though she's technically hand to hand, she shoots. Mercury has to be closer, and obviously Adam has to be like right up on you to actually do it. So, two favorite characters, and one of them's dead, and we haven't seen anybody, from Salem's camp officially, like, back there since she's kind of left and doing whatever she's doing. We've just had Tyrion and the dude whose name I swear I can never freaking remember. I can never remember his name. He's like the one character whose name I'll look up. I'll remember it for like a few reviews, and of course it's been a while, and I'm kind of doing a bunch of reviews all at once. But I can never remember that guy's name. I always freaking forget. But dark-haired Jacques. I still think they're brothers. But yeah, so we haven't really seen them and stuff like that. But that's whole other bunch of other crap anyway. But this episode in itself, definitely an entertaining episode. It's just like, we'll see what the overall story is, because things have been moving a bit slow. Personally speaking, I think they've been moving kind of slow, but every little epic moment like this, it gives me hope, where I'm like, all right, this could lead to something really, really cool, or it could just be like, meh. And just people have not been super happy. Like, I've been kind of okay. I've been like right in the middle. Like, some things I'd be like, I enjoyed that. Obviously, I hated Adam dying. I just wish that they like beat him, and then they allowed him to come back later as a villain, or somehow, I doubt he's like the last person I think would have a redemption. So him just staying a villain, I thought would have been great. But this volume has been moving a bit slow for me. So we'll see. As things continue on, we'll kind of just see how it plays out. But I think this is one of the good moments that'll have something probably at the end of the volume, because the woman is so old. Like, she'll die, Winter will get the power, and then we just see what happens from there. Maybe she could actually go with Raven. Raven's trying to stay out of it. Winter just goes with her and is like, hey, just teach me how to use my powers. You don't have to be in it. Just teach me, and then that's it. I think that would be entertaining too. Like, those two characters, like, I feel like they would just argue all the time, but that's just how they are. But either way, regardless of how things will or will not go, I want to know what you guys thought about this episode, so please put your comments down in the comment section below. Let me know your favorite parts about it, least favorite parts about it, and I would love to know your thoughts on finding out that Winter is, at some point, going to be the Winter Maiden. Do you think that is going to play out that way, where she will actually get that power? Do you think there's going to be some crazy twist where, I don't know if they would do it with Weiss, although I think that would be the perfect person. If it's not actually going to end up being Winter, Weiss is the perfect person, because then you have Winter, like, protecting her younger sister forever. Like, they're going to come after my younger sister. I have to make sure that she is safe. So that would be a cool storyline as well. But I would love to know how you think that's actually going to play out. Like, who will actually get the power of the Winter Maiden? And what do you think of the reveal in general? So please put your comments down in the comment section below. And of course, thanks for watching.